So what's up, everybody? It's me, True Star Screamer, and we've got something. We got something unique here, guys. So this is made by Fury Toys. This is their Abyss Creations Shark Squad. Okay, this is a updated version of the Street Sharks. I'll have the proper title down in the actual show title, but this is the Beast in a Cage Gypsy. This is a giant shark. This is a very large shark, and yes, we have all three of them. Right now, we are going to be looking today at this one, the Hammerhead, aka Gypsy. Cue up the Stevie Nicks if you like. I am very, very torn with this figure, and we'll be getting into why. All I'm going to say is this is either the coolest or this is either the coolest thing I have bought this season, or it is my biggest regret. And I'm still determining. Right now, I said I bought all three of them. I will try to review all three of them. But this is the first one I opened because I thought the Hammerhead looked damn cool. So the box is sealed. There's no window to open up here. Photography is great. And enough about this. We're going to get this guy open. And because this is from the Street Sharks, we broke out the street diorama. That's right. So let's have some fun. So Fury Toys are no stranger to this channel. If you have been a fan, wow, that's weird to say that. If you've been following this channel for a while, I have purchased so far all of the Fury, or now I guess Rage toys, but their Samurai Squad. I have right now just happened to grab their version of Donatello out here. Spring, autumn, I can never remember these. Autumn, I think. Anyway, so why am I starting off with this guy? Well, you've seen these guys, and if you haven't, they're kind of on the tiny side, which works very well for the scale of these guys. You know, they're proper 1/12 scale turtles. Well, the thing is, the sharks, I guess they're to scale as well. They're big boys. They are big boys. Come on, stand here, and that is impressive and has its own challenges going to it as well. So, stay. It's huge. And like I said, maybe in some ways, if you saw the Street Sharks, bring it out Leatherneck here again, that is to scale. I know, doing the size comparisons first, but I mean, that was just the first thing that impressed me is how the size of them. It's the styrofoam. Leatherneck can stand fine. You guys know that. So that was probably the first thing that caught my eye, was just the absolute size of this figure. Most of these figures are all variations of the same buck. So if I do some reviews of them, I'll be referring back to this video for the articulation. And the articulation is very rudimentary, actually. It kind of reminds me of like when I first handled a Mythic Legion. But also like a Mythic Legion, it has that balance between just enough and just some of the most beautiful detailing I've ever handled. There are some absolute weak points about this, and unfortunately it starts from the bottom, and it is these ankles. These ankles are definitely a little weaker than I would like them to be. Absolutely. So sometimes when posing this guy, it is very hard to get a pose that holds still. Because it's that Street Shark aesthetic, it's got the tiny legs and the huge torso. So they are top heavy. So you can balance them. You just got to get to them. But the thing is, when you get them into a pose, it's a pose that does work. My big thing, like I said, is the details. It's absolutely incredible. I mean, the shoes, the laces on the shoes, the folds in the pants, the belt. We're going to talk about this piece, though, because that is actually another issue I have. He's got tattoos, which you will eventually become my food. Hunger. I can't quite make out this one because my eyes suck. And same with the other one, but he's got these tribal ones on here. They're very cool. Though he's got the fighter's tape on his hands, which have a beautiful wash on them. It's got the base paint, and then also has like a detailed wash on it as well, which just really brings out the sculpt in this. And the sculpt is great. But again, articulation. We've got a thigh swivel, single jointed knee that does not. Okay, just about hits 90 degrees. Got a universal joint on the ankle, kind of like a McFarlane figure, which is where my problems go through. Thigh swivel, and very basic crotch down there for the hips. The arm is just, it's almost like a Build-A-Figure, where you've got the single joint on here, no butterfly joint, single jointed elbow, and a wrist. The neck, very nice articulation on here. There's a double ball peg in here, and he's got the collar to kind of fill things out, so you can kind of give some very expressive looks. And what's neat is the mouth. It closes, but it opens very easily. But it will close when needed. So I definitely like that. I guess there's a double ball peg, the torso here. This, of course, can rotate, and there's not really much ab crunch to that. I have not experimented if I can pop this off with heat. And okay, you see here, this is popping down, so we can. So that is probably my biggest problem. You can see the workings in here. There's like a little friction point here, so you can push it up and it will grip, but it will fall down as you mess with it, which will probably happen a couple times on here. You can hear got a little bit of squeak on there. I'm not going to bother with shock oil. I might hit this with a little hair dryer as the review goes, but and he's standing, and he's in a very imposing pose, which that comes the part of, no, it's not the craziest dynamic articulation, but it gets me just enough. So I can't really give it points against it, because he kind of does really what I want him to do, which is be big and imposing. Then we have the accessories. Oh dear God, we have accessories. So, like I said, he comes with a plethora of accessories, and I'm not even talking about the stuff that comes with the bonus kit when you buy all three together. This is just the standard gear. Now, this might seem a little extra shiny, and there's a funny story about that we'll talk about in a second. But you do get an alternate pair of hands that grip. So I did do the switch out on him, which I did not realize it's not a actual wrist joint there, but that is a ball peg. So you get a little more articulation from the hands there. So you do get your holding hand. You get a pair of these brass knuckles that say punish on them. And these just hold on by friction. Literally, you just push that over the knuckles, and they actually hold in there really well. The reason I said this one's a little extra shiny, I think it was from the heat, because I am in North Carolina and it's hot outside, but one of these actually had stretched out a little, so it wasn't getting a grip. I just hit it with a hair dryer, then ran it under cold water. It worked just fine. We get a kind of like a wrestling belt to go around his waist, which also might help compensate for the pants falling down. I think that's a very novel way, if that's its intent, and I actually applaud that. We get a pair of these bottles, which are nice, but and they hold in the hand really well. Oh, by the way, I did have to heat these up with a hair dryer to do the hand swap. I want to mention that. But because of the single jointed arms, I can't actually make it look like he's drinking from the bottle. So go with that. Got that. This is awesome. You get this anchor on a chain. So of course he can hold that in his hand, and he can have the chain in the other hand. So it's a really neat melee weapon. But this is replaceable, and you also get almost like an energy version of it, I guess, if you want to power him up, which is kind of neat. And again, I like how this all has that fighting tape, and this is real metal. We also get a fish, half a fish, and I like this because, see, we can actually unpeg that, have him hold that and then put the tail in so you don't have to worry about messing with that too bad. And that's pretty neat. Also, that would make sense of, you can sit here and pull that out. He stood still from that, guys. And again, slide the hand into grip and then put your, that's his keyed, by the way, I like that. So you can then put the anchor in there. So that's really neat. But then we have him hold a fish. So since he's hungry, we can have a half-eaten meal. And finally, we get these really neat impact effects. This is rudimentary basic, but my gosh, these are neat. Oh, almost forgot. And we also get some chains for him to wear. I just didn't put them on him. I don't know. I'm debating if I want to have him displayed with them or not, but I do think it's cool. He's got all these chains, which has got like crosses, shark teeth, and things like that, which is pretty cool. But these impact effects, these are incredibly basic, but my gosh, they kind of get the job done right. In fact, okay, that belt, really clever way of compensating for the pants falling down. It doesn't, since it just lays there and the pants drop, that covers that gap beautifully. Probably a last-minute idea, and I think that was really, really clever. But also, you can see here the effects here. They just go in there with friction, and these are great. This reminds me of something like some old Storm collectibles, how they did the old Hadouken, where it just literally was held in by friction. And this is just a fantastic impact. I mean, I can make this. He's just looking imposing, like almost that whole anime energy thing. Just a lot of implied stuff coming in. And this guy just has presence. Gypsy has presence. Again, this is not a flawless figure. I would love to have been able to get a little more... Well, we'll say that for the final thoughts here. But this guy just does exactly kind of like what I want him to do in the most rudimentary way. And it works. And I got all three of these. These are going to look very interesting in the display case. I need to give you guys like a little tour of my display cases sometime. If you want me to do that, leave a comment down below, and also hit that like button while you're down there. Just saying. That'll let me know to pay attention to this particular point on the post, because I think it's timestamps when you do that. But yeah, if you want to know a display case, I can do it on Instagram or even do a live on here. Let me know. I don't know. I just thought it looked cool, and yes, by the way, I did pick up this Hulkbuster at a comic book shop for a really good price. But I just kind of dug that. I wanted to show you guys that. Maybe I'll try to figure out to do like a formal photo with that type of setup later. Anyway, final thoughts. Take Tony out of here and bring you back. And I'm just having fun with this. This is not going to be the latest in action figure technology. No, it is not. I think InArt is doing that right now, as well as LPZZ with their Batman figures, which I cannot wait for that Arkham Knight Batman to come out. Yes, it is on order. If you got a thing for mutated animals, get them. If you really like your turtles, if you're picking up the Fury Planet or whatever, your Veteran Williams and such, I think you'll enjoy this figure. This is not going to change the world of action figures, but it's just cool. I'm smiling. I am smiling. I don't feel like I'm having any regret with this now that after messing with them. It's kind of like, it's just so basic, like a Mythic, but when you have fun with Mythic Legions, you'll have fun with this. I think this would be absolutely fantastic to terrorize some street humans. If they were out there, some humans on the street. Had to do it. Sorry, had to do it. But I got mine from 5K Toys. They have the 3-pack available for like $169, and you get the little bonus gear kit. If you want to get one of them, they're going for like $60 each plus shipping. It's not a terrible figure. I've seen more expensive figures that disappoint me out there. Maximum Hulk, for example. And this is just something totally different. You could grab one of these and have him be a king shark for you. You could have them Namor fight them. You can just have... he's like a Savage Dragon villain, actually. I think there was a shark called Mako, I believe. God, it's been so long since I read that. But you can probably hear it in my voice. I am enjoying this figure, so I do recommend him. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think this is pretty neat? Do you think this is the goofiest thing? Should I show the other 2 sharks? Do you want to see those on this channel? Let me know down below. That's half the fun of this place. Communicate. I pay attention. We've got all kinds of cool stuff coming in. Oh dear lord, all the pre-orders are showing up. I'll probably be talking about that on an episode of Figure Action, or at least talk about it on an episode of Figure Fight Club. You can check me out on those channels too. If you are new here, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that like button. If you want to see more of these cool stuff like this, you want to pay attention to this channel. And as always, until next time, take care guys. Peace. Be awesome.